Hey everyone, it's Jelly Cards, and you're listening to the Jelly Cards podcast. We've been collecting since we were kids. Whether it's Pokemon cards or sports cards, being a collector at heart always comes first. You can listen to all our episodes on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. And if you are enjoying these topics, please give us a rating and a follow on both Spotify and Apple, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. So, if you are ready, we are ready. Sit back, relax, and as always, keep spreading the love of the hobby from your friends at Jelly Cards.
All right, well, here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Man, totally messed up the intro. We got Haley from Slab Mania here. We're going to redo the intro because I don't know what, we're having some really bad technical difficulties. Of course, when we have a hobby celebrity on our podcast, it's been, it's probably a reason why Mars Cards doesn't ever want to come back.
Yeah, Mar and Miguel.
Yeah, Mario and Miguel just don't want to come back. They'd be like, "This is a bunch of amateurs.
Yeah,
we can't be recording with them." But thank you so much. We really appreciate you coming on our podcast another time. We had so much fun recording it with you the first time. It's one of our best episodes that we've had. So yeah, I guess maybe we just need to have you on every single week because
down for it.
it's the only time we ever get listens.
I am down for it whenever. I'm down for it.
John, how are you doing today?
I'm doing all right.
Good, man.
Yeah, I'm okay. I think it's really nice to have Haley back. And like you said, Jason, it's been a long time since we actually did a formal intro. And it's because of Haley's celebrity status. I feel like we had
celebrity status, man. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, unfortunately, Erica he's the one that's having the technical difficulties.
We can blame him.
He can't.
It's all his fault.
It is all his fault, really. I mean, what? Just so unprofessional, man.
I know. Like, you guys asked me on this pod, and you can't even.
Yeah.
Like, come on, guys. Come on.
It's a schmuck.
But Haley, what have you been up to? What's the hobby life going like these days?
I think the last time we talked was, when was that?
It was like right after you had visited Atlanta for the first time. I think right after you went to Cards HQ for the first time.
Yeah.
No, that was before Cards HQ.
I was going to say.
That was before the National and everything.
Yeah, I was going to say, so a lot has changed since we talked.
Yeah, a lot has changed.
Yeah, so like, I guess kind of rewinding back to the National. It's been it's been a lot. It's been almost a year.
Yeah.
So yeah, when I was at the National, I had just quit my retail job. Had no plan B prior to the National, and then right before the National, I got invited down to go to Cards HQ to do like a Instagram creator takeover. And so I went down for 4th of July weekend and had so much fun down there. I was able to meet the owners, was able to meet Jeff, Carter, and Ryan, able to meet some of the breakers and some of the employees, and just had the best time for those couple days. And then I get back from Atlanta, and then like a week later, I got a job offer from Cards HQ to come down and basically move my life to Atlanta and be their social media manager and also a breaker down there. So yeah, a lot has changed since the last time we talked, and I'm right here in Atlanta doing this interview. So
yeah, that's awesome. And honestly, we couldn't be more happier for you too, because I remember when we talked about the first time, you kind of just getting back into your social media days and wanting to like really just jump right into, Slab Mania and grow that part of your hobby life. And then now, I mean, you're really living the dream that like all of us, like, average collectors and, people that are part of the hobby, like that is the dream to either, if it's not your own business, to be able to like, in Cards HQ, like, honestly, what Jeff has been able to accomplish, with obviously sports card investors and now building Cards HQ, like I would love to go to Atlanta and be able to see that shop.
Yeah, it's crazy because it's one thing seeing the shop on like videos, or if you're ever a part of the streams and see it in the background, but when you actually go to the shop, it's like you're just blown away. It's like the videos
Yeah.
don't do it justice. And it's just such a cool shop and such an incredible atmosphere. And it's just it's just so crazy thinking about how last year I quit this retail job and now like I started Slab Mania as a way to get my foot in the door to just something. And then here's like Cards HQ and I'm like, holy crap, this is a huge door to get your foot
Yeah.
into.
Yeah.
And I just like I still sometimes don't even believe how like that all happened. And it's just crazy.
Yeah. John, we suck.
No, you guys
Clearly,
don't. No, you don't.
We suck, man.
Yeah, the other
We could like
one of the episodes we were like, we'll be halfway to like 100 square feet, and then we go to Cards HQ, and it's like a mansion basically. It's a
Yeah.
warehouse, Costco warehouse full of cards.
Yeah. We've been trying to get our foot in the door since 2020.
Yeah. We're
And
just-
and here we are.
Hey, you know what? You gotta start somewhere.
yeah, it takes
Yeah.
time, Jason.
You
Okay.
gotta start somewhere.
And that's honestly, it's one of the most depressing things about like, trying to, grow a hobby business, but then also have to deal with your like actual real life
Correct.
and
Yes.
it's so hard for us just to find time to do the podcast.
I'm
Like
sure. Yeah.
we
Honestly.
struggle to just try to find dates, and that's why we have to do it, do it late at night and
Yeah.
stuff now. It's really difficult. John and I used to be able to just, wake up in the mornings and we were doing them at like what, 8 a.m. or something, because
Yeah.
our days off were adding up always. And now it's like, real life, real adult life is like, in full effect. And man, it's that little bit of time that I get to just like not have to deal with work or do running errands or anything. I spend all my time just nothing but jelly.
Yeah. No,
Like
like I give
whether
you
it's yeah,
I give you guys so much props because I think anybody that's not 100% into the hobby and like a profession wise aspect talking, where like people who are in the hobby, but also like you were saying have, your other life, your careers, your, families and outside of the hobby. I give like people so much props for like trying to tackle both because so when I was back doing my retail job, when I started Slab Mania, it was like retail took away my life. I had no life working retail job. And I worked this job for 6 years and like had my evenings taken away from me, had my weekends taken away from me. My whole life was literally just this retail job. And I wasn't happy at that job because I knew I was just meant to do something else. But it was like, how do I find the time to chase a dream? But when all my time is consumed by needing like health benefits, needing a paycheck and needing
yeah,
all this stuff. And it gets discouraging. So like I give people so much props who are able to do both at once and just push themselves because I got to a point where I remember sitting in the break room at my retail job and I just felt so overwhelmed and like so depressed in the moment where I was like, I'm using every single ounce of my energy and my time making money for this corporate like retail job that
mm-hmm,
like I could be replaced like that. Like this
yeah,
job does
Yes.
not matter. And I honestly started to feel like I started to go crazy. And in the back of my head, like Slab Mania, like go after your dream, just like kept popping up and up. And I would like if I worked a morning shift, I would be like 8 a.m. to like 4 p.m. And then all my evenings would just be Slab Mania. Or if I worked a night
Nice.
shift, I would wake up early, do Slab Mania. And I did that consistently for months and months. And I was like, if you got a dream, like it's nobody's gonna chase it for you. You have to do it. Like no matter how hard or like how much little time you have, just any like time that you're awake, you just have to put it all into it. And that's what I did. And then I by some miracle got this opportunity with Cards HQ because I took a chance on myself and I quit that retail job and just went all in. And it was the scariest but best thing I ever did was just up and quitting that job. And I think back to it now and I'm like, holy crap, like I did that. And it's just like,
Yeah.
it's mind blowing. Like,
mm-hmm.
I think back, like, I don't even know how I did it. I just did it. It's like, it's crazy.
So what's life as a breaker now? Is
I,
this your first time like getting into like the
Yeah.
breaking part of the
yes.
hobby?
So when I had went down there prior to getting a job offer, when I got invited to go down there for 4th of July to do that creator takeover, they had me jump on a couple of the on they had me jump on one night for a couple hours to like just hang out with the breakers on stream and be like, oh hey, like Slab Mania is gonna be joining our streams tonight. Right then and there, like I knew I was like, this is cool. Like this is something that's like I sat there and I was like, you mean to tell me that you get paid to literally open sports cards and build a community and have like all these fun people come into your stream and hang out with? And I didn't realize like that it could be an actual profession at that point. And I knew nothing about it. Like that was the first time I had ever gotten a taste of breaking, or I really knew nothing about it prior to that. So when I got this job offer and when I found out that it was also going to involve being a breaker, I was excited but terrified because I knew nothing about it. And I was very fortunate that when I started doing the breaking, I was taught by incredible people. They made me feel so confident. Um, they trained me so well on it. And it was kind of one of those things where it's like, no matter how much things people tell you, you're not going to understand it or learn it until you actually jump into it. And I think like that was just so rewarding because it was kind of like you got to learn as you go, but then it gets to the point where it's like the back of your hand. You could just
Yeah.
boom, hit live and you're good to go. And I was really scared to do it because like we said, I have never done it before. And when I got offered this hybrid position of doing the social media and being a breaker, it now led to the first time I'm saying this, I am now transitioning fully into being a breaker for Cards
Damn.
HQ. Yeah, so
Oh, that's awesome.
I will not be doing the social media side for them anymore. I'm very excited
Oh,
to become a
wow.
full-time breaker for them. So yeah,
Damn.
yeah,
Damn. Look at
Yeah.
that, Jason. We got
Breaking
breaking
news.
news.
yeah, right.
Breaking news.
We're famous for a day.
Yeah, so
Breaking
I'm very
news. And then the
excited.
recording just cuts out.
Right?
Yeah, right when
Yeah,
when she's gonna
Damn.
the first time I'm saying it.
yeah,
Damn, that's awesome. Are you excited to be breaking strictly? Like, do you feel
very
like
excited. Yeah,
okay, cool.
I love the social media side because obviously that's my background. That's how I started. But when I started breaking, I just like I saw the community that we were forming and how much fun I have with people in the chat, and I'm like, I just feel so rewarded doing this. And I feel like I'm able to make a difference if somebody's like, there's people that'll come in that are having a bad day or just like something chaotic is going in their life. And they'll come in and they'll tell us, like, we come in here to like decompress, to like take the stressors off of life with like your streams and Cards HQ streams. And like that right there is like means everything to me. And if I'm able, like by just like entertaining and like having fun and ripping cards, if I'm able to make a difference in somebody else's life, that's all that matters to me. And when I realized that I started to do that, I was like, I want to go all in on that.
Yeah, that is awesome. And that was, I kind of feel the same way, like you talking about breaking and, something you've never done that before. Like, I mean, John and I have talked about that too, with the same thing with the podcast. Like, we've never done anything like that. Oh my, it was very nerve wracking and, I mean, real amateur. It's still amateur, but I mean, it was really amateur. And, we were, on one of the previous episodes, we were talking like, I was sitting in my closet,
Yeah,
like, I
I
was just
bet.
sitting
Yeah.
in my closet, like, with Apple headphones on, we were using a phone app at the time. Like, we didn't know anything about, podcasts or anything, and now it's like we've really, like, we have a legit, platform that we use now, like,
Yeah.
we're been updating our equipment, like, as it goes now, it's, like, just natural, like, that we can do these podcasts, and we hardly ever write notes down anymore unless we're, like, really breaking down player
Yeah.
stats and card markets and stuff. But other than that, like our best episodes is when we can just do this.
Yeah.
Like there's no notes, there's no real plan of attack here. It's just let's talk shop, let's talk hobby, and talk what we love about, most you know, about doing this.
Right.
Like, and that's
That's
that's the
awesome.
best part. Yeah.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree too. Yeah, I remember like going back to what Haley was talking about being a breaker. When jelly cards started breaking on whatnot, that was usually just me by myself. So first time I did it, I was going through the same stuff as like the podcast. I was nervous, and I'm sure you were too, Haley. It's like oh, am I going to give somebody the wrong team? Am I going to send out the wrong cards
Oh,
to somebody?
Yes,
I could never do it. I could
Yeah,
never
man,
do it.
it's nerve
Nope.
wracking. But
absolutely.
I was just like, I joined a bunch of breaks on Instagram, even on Whatnot too. Like, I would watch breaks on Facebook as well. I was just like, okay, I kind of get the gist of how they do it. And
Yeah,
you just got to do it a few times, and you feel like, okay, yeah, it's pretty cool. And then you just kind of go with it. You kind of know what to do. You know how to handle it. Same
exactly.
exact thing with the podcast. And I love what you said about the community, because I've joined like your Whatnot Lives a lot. I've joined the wax room breaks. I join those all the time just to like hop in and goof around.
Yeah, right.
I don't even buy spots. I just hop in to
Yeah,
like talk and say what's up. And so it's really fun. That's like it's a part of breaking that people don't really talk about, because most of the time it's like, oh, breakers are good or bad for the hobby, or breakers ruining the hobby. But forming that community and like breaking with your same favorite breakers and becoming friends, it's awesome.
yeah, and
If you're
it's
doing it the right way, like if you're,
correct.
if you do it the right way and you build those relationships, I mean, honestly, yeah, it's so much fun. I used to do, there was one when we still had our TikTok account. There was a Pokemon breaker, and there were Pokey Corgi Dad, I think is what the name, if
Sweet.
I can remember it correctly.
Awesome.
And I would just join it, just I honestly I joined their breaks just to say, hey, like, hey, what's up? And
Yeah,
then for them to go back and be like, Jelly,
right.
and I'd
Yeah, yeah,
be like, yeah, that's us.
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
That's all I needed. That's all I
right.
needed was for you to like acknowledge that, like, hey, not only acknowledge us, but remember us to the point where you're like
Yes.
shouting us out and be like, oh, what's up, Jelly? Like, welcome back. Yeah, that was the best part.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
it's kind of like going off of what we've been saying, that really is like the best part. Like, obviously, don't get me wrong. Like, when you're able to hit a huge card for somebody, like, that's incredible. But the whole community part, like, there are people now from my streams and the other breaker streams from Cards HQ that come into the shop, and we now know them and we're able to meet them. And, there was one person who comes into our breaks a lot that visited us, and we went out to dinner with like all the other
Oh,
breakers and
sweet.
like some of these people
Wow.
that from our
That's really
chats.
cool.
And the
Yeah.
best part is literally forming, this community and like forming friendships. And I think that's like we were kind of touching, like that's a side of breaking that you don't see, because I feel like there's, unfortunately a very negative connotation against breakers in the hobby sometimes. And what we're trying to do at Cards HQ is we're literally just trying to form a community. Like, that's it. Like, we don't ever force people to buy into our breaks. We don't yell at people if spots go for low. Like, we literally, if anybody has ever been a part of one of our streams, like, we literally just have fun. That's all there is to it.
No,
And yeah,
honestly, yeah, everything that you guys do at Cards HQ is great. I still love watching, like Jeff's like podcast videos when, man, Teapot, that's my dude.
That's Jason's guy.
Teapot.
Teapot is my dude.
So the
Like,
Teapot is like, he is so genuine and so nice on camera, but off camera, he's the exact same way. He is like the most down to earth, nicest guy you will ever meet. Like, Teapot is awesome. I love Teapot.
and he's very
Nice.
extremely knowledgeable about the
Yes,
hobby
very
and
knowledgeable.
extremely knowledgeable about, about markets, but like some of the stuff he says, I'm like, I say that same stuff. Like, I've been saying that,
Yeah, he is
Yeah,
incredible.
Teapot's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah. But let's get into some show and tell. Let's get
let's do
into the
it.
like why we are in this hobby,
Yes.
Real collectors, just a few collectors here showing off their collection cards. Haley, if you would like to do the honors of starting us off.
This card that I'm about to show, this is one of my Grail cards. I have a couple Grail cards. A couple of them I don't have yet that I probably won't have for years, but this one is, if anybody that follows me on Instagram, I've been trying to complete the Nick Chubb 2018 Panini Prism Rookie Rainbow. I've been trying to complete the non-auto version, but also the auto version. So with my non-auto version, I have it fully completed except the Black Finite 101, which I'm sure is probably
Okay.
sitting in a box somewhere that I will never
Good
see
luck.
for like
Yeah,
20
good luck.
years.
Yeah, uh-huh.
But I also am decently pretty ahead in the auto version, and one of them is the gold vinyl. This one is
That
actually
is
2 of
so
5.
Sick.
Yeah,
that is
so
so
this one, when
cool.
I got this card, I slept with it in my bed. I This is
Showered with
like,
it.
yes, I want to get one of those necklace like things and just wear
Yeah.
it all the time. Yes. But yeah, this is a card that I've been wanting for years, and when the opportunity was presented to me, it was a little expensive, but I was like I couldn't I because I knew in that moment when that opportunity was presented to me, if I didn't take it, I would have never found this card again. There's only 5 of them in the world, and this is the only one I ever saw surface so far. So I was like, I have to do it. But yeah, and it's 9.5.
Yeah,
So
John's pissed.
yeah.
Yeah,
John's
here
so
we go.
pissed. It's a Beckett slab. John's pissed.
Listen, I
Go ahead.
I
Go
will
ahead,
say
John. Tell her.
I do like PSA. But I bought it when it was already graded, and I was like, I have to.
Go. Go ahead and tell her,
Yeah,
John.
yeah. Jason
Tell her how
just
wrong she
puts.
is to
Let
buy
me hear
that
it. Let
card.
me hear it.
No, listen. Jason's just putting words into my mouth. If you're buying a card for PC, it doesn't matter what grade it is.
That's what I say
You can
too.
buy it in
Yeah.
GMA.
No,
You can buy it in
that's
HGA.
no,
You can buy it in the
no.
the
That's not
Jason
how.
from Jelly Cards grading service.
Yeah.
But
No,
if you're buying
I would buy
something,
the old school SGC. Really? Because I would buy cards for my collection and SGC slabs, and you'd be like, "Well, why wouldn't you just get in a PSA slab? Why don't you just get PSA 10s?" I'd
no,
be like, "John, it's just for my collection." And then I get called dumb.
yeah, okay. If you're trying to resell the card, that's one of our topics that we talk about a lot now.
Yeah,
If you want to resell the card, I feel like PSA has like the
for
strongest
sure.
value, and it has the like most attention on their market. And Jason likes to give me crap because he's just like, I don't know, he hates me.
I am a very anti PSA guy.
Yeah,
You know
he
Okay.
what?
hates PSA.
I am a not. It's not. I probably have nothing against PSA, to be totally honest.
Yeah,
I just like
I just hate
we
their
were
whole
talking about
company.
it in the well, we were talking about it in the group chat the other day. It was just, I root for the little guy. Like
Yeah.
I like SGC. I mean, I've always talked about them having like great customer service. Their turnaround times, their prices have been great. Now I'm kind of like rooting for tag grading,
yeah.
bring the
So
AI
you like the
into it,
underdog?
let's
Yeah,
Yeah.
dethrone the
always.
king,
Yeah.
let's dethrone the king of PSA. But yeah, that's my little rant. All right, John, what you got?
So I got actually a raw card. I decided to grab one of my PC cards as well because I knew that Haley had like given us a little preview, and I was like, oh boy, I got to get something good. So I actually bought this card recently, and for people who have listened to the podcast long enough, you know how much I love Mitch Trubisky.
Oh,
So
the battle of the collections here.
yeah, I realized it. I think this is how like I don't know addicted / pathetic I am. I thought I was buying one of his rookie cards, but it's actually like it's called like the resurface collection or something that Panini does, like
Oh,
Panini
okay.
Honors. So it's a 2020 Panini Honors Championship rookie ticket, Contenders 2017 Mitch Trubisky 1/1 auto.
Oh, that's sick.
Oh,
That is sick.
oh, I don't even want to show my cards anymore.
Wow.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I bought
Wow.
it because I thought it was like his 2017
Yeah.
Contenders ticket rookie, which is like the rookie ticket autos are awesome to have.
Love rookie ticket. Yeah.
Yeah, they're so cool. But I guess it's a 2020. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm a big Mr. Trubisky fan,
That's awesome.
and similar to what you said, Haley. I wanted to ask how you got the Chubb, but I got this on eBay because I was like, I have the search saved, and I get emails if I ever get like a Mitch Trubisky PSA 10 or Mitch Trubisky rookie auto. And I saw it come up, and I was like, yeah, there's no way I'm gonna ever get another chance at this because I'm probably going against another Mr. Trubisky collector.
Correct.
Going Mitch himself.
Yeah, or Mitch and his wife trying to buy Mitch a nice gift.
Yeah.
But yeah, how did you get the Chubb? Was that a show
This
or you?
one, so this one was eBay. This one that somebody had alerted me to. I do have the non-auto version of this one that somebody from the hobby had saw at a show and instantly messaged me. Like, this is what
Cool.
I love about the hobby is that
Yeah.
like it feels like if you're if you get in, I don't know how to explain. Like, I feel like there's different groups of the hobby. Like, there's the side that like it's the collectors that like want to see everybody win, and then there's just another side. But if you get in on the good side, you will meet some incredible people that are always looking out for you. They're always looking for like cards that you might be interested in. And so the non-auto version of this, um, the person who found it at a show messaged me, and they were so nice enough to like stay by that booth and negotiate a deal for me while I was
Damn.
talking to them. And he ended
Wow.
up like we ended up like me and the guy who was selling it ended up on a price, and that's how I was able to get the non-auto version of this.
It's
And
awesome.
it was just so cool being able to meet his name is John from Brock Trading, and it was just so cool that like I was
Great
able
name.
to form, yeah, I was able to form like such a cool friendship that like he messaged me and was like, "Hey, I'm at the show. Like, I know you need this card. Like, let me know how I can help." And I was like, "Oh my God." Like, it was just like incredible. Like, so
That's
that's probably
awesome.
one of my favorite stories is the non-auto version of that is how I got it because literally the kindness of somebody else willing to be the middleman for me because obviously I wasn't at that show, but this one though I did get on eBay, and it was the only one I've ever seen surface, and I was
Right.
like, I have to. I just have
Hell yeah.
to.
All right,
Well,
Jason.
I
Show your
guess.
shitty card off.
Yeah, I don't even want to show mine anymore. Like,
I'm just kidding,
I
man.
yeah, no, well, I have some. Oh man, this is embarrassing. Uh, I have some. I pulled aside some Pokemon cards of mine because
Oh, awesome.
I figured we're gonna be showing like nothing but collection pieces. I was like, I knew a Nick Chubb card was coming up. I knew there was a Mitch Trubisky card coming up. So I was like thinking, I'm like, okay, well, what are my like favorite cards that I really like to collect into? And I've talked about it those a lot on the podcast. I really love Haley, if you know anything about Pokemon cards, like the Sun and Moon generation, Gen 7. It's like they're almost it looks like Hawaii versions, like
Okay.
they're all just like islands and stuff,
Yeah,
but
that's
they
awesome.
have like these. So I have some of like the full art cards that I was just buying because I absolutely love all the Pokemon. Like I had this cool one. So this is Pokemon. It's called Salazzle.
Well,
It's
that's
a
awesome.
full art
That is pretty sweet.
GX
That
card.
is sick.
Yeah, that I just bought as just as a raw. Fun
Yeah.
fact about this Pokemon: the female version of Salandit. So this is Salazzle, which is the evolved form. Only the females evolve. So if you catch one in the
Oh,
wild, that's a male. It's not going to
interesting.
evolve. Learned that the hard way when I finished the game.
Poor Jason.
John, you'll like these ones. I know you'll like these ones, John, because this is Alolan Ninetales, and
Well,
I know
that's
So
you're a
sick.
awesome.
big,
I love
you're a
the
big one.
artwork that Pokemon does. Like,
And
I
Me
that's
mean,
too.
why I buy these.
yeah,
Like, this is exactly the reason why. Like, and I got like
that
another one
artwork
of
is
my Alolan
incredible.
Ninetales.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I used to collect Pokemon when I was little, but it was like the original Pokemon card. So it was nothing. The artwork was nothing compared to what it is now.
Yeah.
I
And
agree.
then this one, so all those ones I bought just as my own. This one is my Turtonator, also
Wow.
from Sun and Moon, but
Oh,
this is the
wow.
You're what?
this this the Pokemon's called Turtonator, all right?
Sure it
It's
is.
one of the secret rares, but I actually pulled this one.
Oh,
So
that's
this was
sick.
when I don't even remember. I think we were buying the packs from Dean's Dugout. I think it's from Guardians Rising. I think I bought a bunch of the packs when we were at Dean's Dugout one of the times, and we came back to my parents' house. We ripped the cards, and I ended up pulling a secret rare out of a single pack. So not as cool as a 101 or an out of 5 BGS 9.5,
Hey,
but
man.
I just love, yeah, I love the GX cards.
Awesome.
I love like I go down these really deep rabbit holes of once I get into the Pokemon like
Yeah.
collecting, oh man, I can't stop.
Yeah.
Like I can't stop,
That's how I am with my Nick Chubb PC. I was like, you I had to talk with myself the other day and I was like, Haley, you literally gotta stop. Like,
You gotta
No, you
calm
have to
down.
keep
I was
going.
like, you
Yeah.
need
No,
to
no, no.
chill.
You
Like
got to keep going.
your bank account, you gotta chill. Like,
No,
That's
hey,
the
you're a
saddest part.
full-time breaker now. It's okay. You got the money. So you got to keep buying in. But that is the best part about the hobby is when you can really get into, it's the hobby nowadays, and it's a good segue into just kinda I really would love to get your opinion, Haley, on just, like, the current state of the hobby, but, right now, I mean, there's just such a massive focus on buying cards and flipping cards,
Yeah.
or buying wax, flipping wax, whatever wanna do with with your hobby life, but there's so much of an emphasis on making money on this hobby now, which I kind of feel as if, you know, I really hope there's not, more flippers in the hobby rather than collectors in the hobby because we all have to remember why this is a hobby and where we all started, which was collecting cards. But to be able to just get in, once you find those collection pieces or those collection players, and it's just to kinda have a little bit of self-control to not just,
Right.
like, buy up every single card you find of them, but
Yeah.
yeah, but I do wanna get your opinion on how you feel about the current state of the hobby and where you kinda see it going in the future, and overall, just, like, what's your opinion on it?
Yeah, so I feel like I honestly don't know if I'll have, like, the best answer only because, like, I don't feel like I'm very fully immersed into the hobby in the sense of I don't go to events much, I don't go to card shows a lot, so I really don't see, like, in person the state of the hobby, so I kinda more see it from a social media side of it. But, like, me personally, I'm a collector at heart, like, honest to God, I have probably only ever sold 1 card in my entire life, like, I
Awesome.
swear to God.
Wow.
Yeah, like,
Damn.
there's cards that I bought to intend to sell, but then I have attachment issues, and I keep them.
Right,
So,
you and
yeah.
John are the same person.
I have bad
Literally the
attachment
same
issues.
person.
But, I've always had a love for collecting since I was little, and it carried into my adulthood, and I like, don't get me wrong, like, sure, I would love to, be able to have extra money coming in through a hobby that I love, but that's just not me. Like, I love collecting, and I don't sell cards. Like, I don't do that side. I don't do, like, the investing side much. I don't do the flipping side much. But, from my perspective of how I see the hobby, it definitely seems like it is a lot more geared towards people just, um, just buying and selling and flipping. And,
Yeah.
not like I personally, I don't have a problem with that. Like, if you're able to make
No.
money do it,
Yeah.
absolutely do it. But, I just hope that, like, these younger generations that are coming in, I just hope they find a love for the hobby, the collecting part.
Yeah.
And,
Me too.
I think that's, like, something that sometimes like, if anybody's in the hobby, it gets away from. But, there also is those incredible people that you will meet that have never touched a piece of like, never touched social media in their life, and, like, those are the true collectors, like, they're the ones that have been collecting for years and don't care about, the content side, don't care about the money side, they just love it, and, I think, like, a lot of these younger generations that are seeing a lot of the content since we are such a social media driven world now, they're all gonna see, just people flipping and selling cards,
Yeah.
and, they're creating little entrepreneurs of, these little kids,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Hey, like, go for it." Like, it's so funny because we have trade nights at Cards HQ, and I'll be walking the floor, and there's, like, these 7, 8-year-olds that are doing, like, business deals, and I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah, they're,
"Oh
like,
my
wheeling dealing
gosh."
cash.
And they're like,
They're
"Let me
like
check comps."
yeah.
Like, "No, like,
Mhm.
you take let me take 10% of that." And I'm like, "I don't even know how to do that math in my head." And I'm
That's
like,
right. I was
there's, like,
about to
these
say,
8-year-olds, like,
these
just being
kids would
these
be
little
robbing me blind, man.
entrepreneurs. And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh my gosh." But,
Oh, man.
yeah, I think, it
Damn.
just comes down to where it's, since I really am not too immersed into the hobby in, a physical sense being at all these places, but, like, seeing it on social media, it definitely seems like it is more geared towards the, like, flipping side
Yeah.
lately.
Well, and if you really, talking about social media, I mean, it's hard when you just see Roth cards. Just John, did you guys see how Roth cards they sold the Jaden Daniels
Oh, I did
Black
see
Prism
that at Fanatic.
to the
Yeah,
owner of the Washington
I did
Commanders?
see that. Yeah,
And I mean, it's everywhere. And
yeah,
kudos to them. I love watching Roth cards
yeah,
videos. I
that
think
was
they make,
incredible. Oh my
really great
gosh.
content.
Yeah.
But for them, and I'm sitting back and I sent it to John and I'm just like, I suck. Like, Why can't that be me? Like I need, and then of course, John,
Yeah.
what do, man? Buckle into the roller coaster and I'm like, why don't we
Yeah.
be doing this? And why can't
Right,
we be doing
right.
this? And it's so hard to not compare yourself to other
Correct.
hobbyists or compare
Yes.
yourself to other social media, influencers, within this hobby that like, I should be doing this. And obviously it's not going to work for everybody. Everybody's got to have to find their own niche and find their own way through, through this crazy life that we're, trying to live. But it is tough though, because then you see somebody sell a card for $500,000
Right.
and you're like,
Right.
oh, well, I should be able to do that. And then
Yeah.
next thing you know, you're kind of doing it for all the wrong reasons, but John, what do you think? Like, what do you think about the current state of the hobby? How do you feel about flippers versus collectors? Do you honestly think that there's more flippers in the hobby than there are collectors right now?
I'm gonna stick to my guns and say that I think that for now it's still a little bit more collectors, but I think it's only a matter of time before that changes. I feel
Fortunately,
like,
yeah.
yeah, what Haley said earlier, I think we should make that like a podcast topic. I really like what you said, that there's one side of the hobby where it's like hardcore collectors and they're all just trying to help one another. Like if I know that you collect Nick Chubb and I see a Chubb card, I'm gonna like, hey, Haley will want this card. I gotta text her.
Right.
Versus there is that other side of the hobby that I think is being influenced by the money making side of it, that is just like, ooh, this is a great deal. I know, like, I need to buy this card and I need to flip it. Versus the other people who are like, this is a great deal, and I know a person who collects this player. I should text them and let them know.
Right.
Like, I feel that those hardcore buy flip, buy grade sell people are getting more and more exposure because of social media. They're way more active online. They're way more active on YouTube, whatnot, Instagram, TikTok, all that stuff. And I think, like Haley said, kind of unfortunately, the younger generation is just going to see all of that all over YouTube. And they're just going to be drawn to that. They're just going to be drawn to, whoa, I want to do like the trade up thing. I'm going to buy a card for $1 and then trade up to
I forgot
$1,000.
about
Uh-huh.
those.
And I'm
Yeah.
going to, yeah,
Yeah.
like stuff like that
Yep.
is going to kind of take over. But I, I've said it before. I like to stay on the positive side of things. I like to hope for the best and look for the best in people. I think that the collectors are not going to go anywhere regardless. Like I'm going to still be buying cards and collecting them. And if I see other young hobbyists come to our showcase or something like that, I'll try to promote collecting just as much as I'm trying to sell some cards, to make sure that like the roots of what I like to call the roots of the hobby
Yeah.
stay like prominent. But what about you, Jason? I know that we've talked about it so much, and yeah, Haley, Jason just sends like, one day it's like, oh, let's buy into
Oh,
bricks.
that's
The
bad.
other day it's like, hey, we should be buying Pokemon cards. And then
Right.
today he's like, hey, why don't we go back to what we always did with our Bowman prospects?
Yeah.
And I'm
I mean,
just like,
there's so
It's
many
so
times
bad.
where I'll see reels. I've actually really gotten into watching Pokemon reels of like watching people have like the point of view, like the GoPro here, and they go and do deals.
yeah,
And then I'm thinking like, okay, I have a GoPro. Why don't I just go do that? And then I'm like, wait a minute, you know literally nothing about Pokemon. And it's like,
exactly.
Yeah.
yeah, but
It's
yeah,
I've been yeah, I go nuts. Like I literally go nuts like going, talking about the hobby with them in the chat and I mean right now, I mean honestly, I don't think that there's more flippers than there are collectors. However, it's just like I think it is, even for those collectors, I think it's very prominent. I'm, I want to try to flip some cards. I want to flip some cards. I want to make some profit, and I want to move on to the next card. And like I said, like you're watching Card Collector too. You're watching King of Cards. You're watching Roth Cards.
And Jeff,
Yeah, watching Jeff. And you're seeing a lot of people who are very successful at doing that and so you think to yourself, yeah, I can do this. I can be buying up these boxes and you're ripping cards or, trying to buy this card and flip that. And then we see it when we go to shows. I mean, you saw it at the National in Cleveland. Lot of young generation, a lot of kids. and they're all just slamming their Zion cases on the tables and opening them up and,
Yeah.
"Do you wanna buy my
It's
cards?"
so funny.
You
So
know, and
funny.
it's like, I mean, but it's keeping the hobby alive,
Oh, for
really. I
sure.
mean, it's
Yeah.
keeping it thriving
Yeah.
because this, ultimately, we're kind of blinded by the dollar signs right now. I think a
Yeah.
lot of people are blinded by these, $1 million card sales,
Yeah.
and now look at, even going back to, talking about Roth cards selling that card. Is this now a new thing where teams are, owners of professional sports teams are going to start buying the best card of
Right.
their best player?
Yeah,
Like, I mean, for
that
us,
was insane. Wow.
well, when
That
I
was
saw
awesome.
that happen, instantly I went, and this relates to all of us. Okay, are the Bears going to do that with Caleb Williams?
Oh, true. Yeah, like,
Are
are
the
they
Browns going to
yeah,
do that with Shador? What if
right,
Shador becomes, a major star in the NFL? What if Caleb lives
right.
up to his, expectations?
Yeah,
If you're sitting back with a one-on-one, Caleb or Shador auto, great, especially if it's graded a PSA 10, why wouldn't you just go, send a quick, message to the owner and be like,
right.
"You want this card?"
Yeah, right.
Because,
Yeah.
hey, the owner of the Commanders bought it, and, the Pittsburgh, Pirates tried to buy the
Oh,
Skeens
yeah,
one,
that's right.
and now you have Dick's Sporting Goods
Yeah,
buying it, so it's like, it's I think it's gradually drifting towards that way of like, hey, it's money making right now. And I mean, Fanatics Fest too. Like, look, I
yeah,
mean, just what Fanatics has been able to accomplish with their Fanatics Fest. Honestly, it's very flashy of like, there's a lot of money in this hobby. There's a lot of
yeah.
money to be made. And I think that is what's ultimately gonna keep it moving
Oh,
forward
for
as of
sure.
right
Yeah,
now.
like so national last year was my first national I've ever been to, and that
Which was awesome.
yeah,
I thought the Cleveland one was awesome.
yeah,
I
I
still talk about that with John all the time.
minus the
Oh,
no internet and that it
yeah,
was in the middle
uh-huh.
of nowhere,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I that really kind of opened my eyes to realize how much money is in the sports card hobby world, which people who are outside of that world, I don't even think understand the extent of how much money you could actually make in this world, which is great. Like, if this is something you love to do, go get your money, like 100%.
Right.
But
Absolutely.
like when I saw everything there and like my parents even came for one of the days and I was like walking them through everything, they were blown away. They had no idea how
Right.
much money is in the sports card hobby. And now you have these actors and these athletes and celebrities coming into the hobby and like kind of like what you guys are saying, like it's the hobby's not going anywhere. It's going to evolve and you're going to see it become even way more mainstream and people are going to realize, oh, I can have a career in this. I can have my own card shop and make a living. I could be a breaker and make a living. I could do social media and do it. I could even just flip cards and make a living. And I think that's like the cool part about the hobby is that you can have a career in something that you love, which is cool, which
Yeah.
I love that about it.
I even think you're seeing it with card shops. I mean, obviously, yeah, going back to talking about Cards HQ and Burbank's card shop. And then was it recently? I just saw a video, Midwest
Yeah,
Cards.
they just got a new shop.
Their brand new shop? And
Yes.
I didn't realize they were from Columbus, Ohio,
Yeah,
but I saw the shop. John, I don't know if
brand
you
new
didn't
shop.
see it, you need to look it up because,
Looks
oh my
awesome.
God. I mean, dude,
Yeah, it's
like,
yeah,
it is
it's
so
amazing.
cool.
Yeah,
Like, it is, I mean, it is such a cool shop. So,
yeah,
like, you're even starting, it's no more of like these mom and pop shops.
correct.
Like,
Yeah,
we talked, there was this one older gentleman that ran the shop that we went up to in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and we joke around about it because we're like that all we need is that. I mean, it was like the size of like a closet. That's all he
yeah.
had. But and he had just like 2 display cases with some cards, he had some wax, he had, some just, some singles lying around and, that was his shop, but now you're seeing these massive like even 101,
Oh,
101
yeah,
shop is huge. So it's I mean, you're seeing the value and you're seeing all of the accomplishments that these companies are making, and now you're getting these massive shops that people can go and they can hang out at, they can do breaks at, they can do
yeah.
all this stuff. I mean, it's truly, truly
Yeah.
incredible what's
Like
going on.
the grading part of it too. GameStop is taking cards now.
Yeah.
I
The
like
rumor going around that GameStop was going to buy out PSA.
what?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
there was a rumor going around for a while that GameStop was going to buy PSA.
Yeah.
Holy crap!
Yeah, which obviously that got,
Yeah,
I
but I
think
think
Jeff was one of the ones that was like, "Nah, I talked to somebody at
Yeah.
GameStop," and he was like, "That's not happening."
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
I was like, I I really I like I just don't see how GameStop and cards just go together. I just
I think
it's
they're
got to
the
be the
number one
Pokemon.
group submitter now.
yeah, that's
It
wow.
has to be
Like
Pokemon.
I
Yeah,
mean, that
Yeah,
just kind of goes
100%.
back to how we were saying, the hobby's evolving. You have these I wait a minute. I don't know if I like had a dream of this or if I saw it somewhere, but wasn't like Walmart planning on doing breaks or something? I thought I saw
That
somewhere.
does sound familiar, honest to God. So we might
Really,
have had the
Like
same
that would be
dream.
I
news to
think it
me.
was Walmart.
I
Like
think it was
Wow.
I
Walmart.
thought I saw something the one day on social media that they were planning on doing something like along those lines. And I was like,
No
oh
wonder
my
I can't find
gosh.
any product on the shelves.
Yep.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, it's even getting to a point where you have to go to Target and ask for Pokemon cards.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Or now they have
Like,
like
It's
them
kind of
either locked
embarrassing.
up. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God. I get him. It's so funny because like my career is in this and like I love buying sports cards. But if I were to go to like Target or Walmart, I almost feel embarrassed going over to like the cards and
the
like buying
cards,
sports
yeah,
cards and like,
because you're like, I'm an adult.
yes,
Yeah,
yes. And then
I'm
like,
an
exactly.
adult.
and I don't know. And then
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's funny. It's really funny the way that
Happened
works.
today. We went to
Yeah.
Target today. There was a dad and his daughter in the card section. I was just like, I probably shouldn't go over there, but I really want to.
Yeah.
Move, kid.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
my
Hey,
turn.
get out of the way.
Are you planning on going to the National in Chicago?
Yes, I will be at the National and I will be working it this year with Cards HQ. So I will be there.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Dang,
have
what are you going to be
FOMO.
doing?
So
Yeah, Jason.
I don't know exactly what I'll be doing there, but they are sending me, which I'm really excited about.
Damn,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that's
I'm
cool.
pretty sure I'll be there the whole time. So I'm looking forward to seeing everybody in the hobby and, the people that I become friends with and just kind of experiencing my second national ever in Chicago. Cause I heard Chicago is where it's at. I heard that's like the best national. So I don't
What
know.
can we say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What can we say?
I don't know.
Yeah, what can we say? Chicago. I mean, it is great. Like
Yeah.
that whole area that they do the national at there in Rosemont is awesome. There's so many there's food places around there. There's hotels, public
Yeah.
transportation. It's like they really have a great setup. However, the last time that it was just like it was almost like too big. Like the
Mhm.
last time when
Okay.
we went there, and it's like it's getting so chaotic and crazy at these like major shows now. And I was just even watching videos of Fanatics Fest, like
Yeah.
it's like,
Right.
Yeah.
shoulder to
Yeah.
shoulder. Like I can only imagine, how this year's national is going to be. And
Yeah.
I do want to get your opinion. Do you think
Here we go.
Fanatics is like trying to like outdo the national? Like, do you think like Fanatics Fest is like? Do you think they looked at the national and went, "This is it.
Yeah, we
So
could do better.
We
I've
could do
never
better."
been to Fanatics before. Um
Us neither.
so I don't know what it's like in there, but I will say though that what I do like about Fanatics is that I think they are trying to kind of yeah, I mean obviously they're trying to compete with the national, but I think what they're doing is they are bringing kind of like just sports lovers in general who may know nothing about the sports card hobby. And I think they're kind of like bringing the two together, which I really like. And I think like, like just from what I see on social media, like Fanatics does seem like a very fun, like immersed atmosphere where you have celebrities and athletes coming in and playing games with people and like all these companies but like I think like any big company that's trying to do something like this is obviously going to be competing with the national because they want to be the big thing every year that people come to um but just from what I've seen on social media because I've never been there. I mean it really does seem like what Fanatics is trying to do compared to national is they're really trying to bring just the specific sports lovers and try to get them immersed into the hobby. That's what
Yeah.
it seems to me.
It's very interactive, and I
Yes.
love how I love how much they bring the athletes to the show
Yeah.
and like how involved the athletes are. John, John, because you
Whatever,
make,
man.
oh yeah, please explain to me why you were so
God.
upset that
Okay.
Tom
Listen.
Brady and Eli Manning were
Yeah.
doing their WWE entrances.
Yeah. Okay. I was full transparency. I thought that was lame. I thought that Brady coming out to Cody Rhodes music and like ripping up an Eli Manning jersey and then Eli Manning like jumping on him and stuff was it. In the group chat I said I felt it was too corny. Like I love corny and cheesy stuff. Like that's fine. It's cute. It's
Dude, love
funny.
cheese.
Yeah, I do love cheese, but I just thought like what are we doing here? Like Tom Brady, in my opinion, like one of the best football players ever. Like I'd rather he just kind of come out and just greet people like normally. Why does it need to be a WWE entrance? Why does he need Cody
Because
Rhodes
that's a
music?
part of the show. Like you can do that. That's a part of the show. So it's cool to see like Tom Brady and like Eli Manning and all them like getting involved in what Fanatics is bringing in for the fans to do. Like, I mean, if you're a fan of Tom Brady and then you're watching your idol like do a WWE entrance, like that's cool. And that's what's you know, and then watching Tom Brady like buy sports cards, that's really cool,
That's
man.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that part. I love
Yeah.
seeing like Wemby and
Yeah.
Tom Brady and D Wade like signing random stuff, buying sports cards, walking the show.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Wemby was looking at certain. There was a video of Wemby. Oh man, what cards was he looking at? Marvel, DC,
Nice.
something like that. One
That's
of the he
cool.
was looking
Yeah.
because they were explaining, and he knew nothing about them. And the person who was at the table was explaining the cards to him, like about rarity. Like, oh well, this
Yeah.
card is going to be more rare than that one. And you know, I'm like, even he's a professional athlete, and like, but they're getting involved into it, like with no past knowledge of like card buying. So it's very cool to see just all these athletes getting, really getting involved in it. I mean, I watch like Triple H from WWE, like they open up
Yeah.
cards
Yeah.
Yeah. I
on
saw
their
that too.
like post shows and like their
Yeah.
pre-shows of like WrestleMania and stuff. They're ripping, Topps Chrome WWE cards. Like, so I mean, everything about the hobby right now is it's so much fun, and it's why I just fantasize and think about everything about the hobby, and like why I want so badly for us as jelly cards, to be able to follow the path of you, Haley, and to like be able to accomplish the things that you have been able to accomplish. One of my biggest fantasies, and we can wrap it up on this one, is I hope one day that MLB Network, by some chance, the MLB Network listens to our podcast and goes, "Hey, these guys are pretty funny.
You
They
never
talk a
know.
lot about baseball. Let's start a segment on MLB Network about baseball, like card collecting, and we can have these group of dudes talking about baseball
This
cards,
group
like
of dum dums.
I don't
talk
think
about like player stats, talk about like replays, and then talk about their card markets and
yeah.
like be like, hey,
I love that idea, and I really do think like
trademark it.
I really
Yeah,
do
you're
think
an idiot.
anything you put your mind to, you'd be able to do. Like there's no reason why that can't happen. You
I'm
know?
not. They don't want me on MLB Network. I will say a lot of bad things about the MLB.
John,
So
but
That's
you
Jason,
would
why we
do it
need
though.
you. That's why we need
I,
you on
I,
there.
Exactly.
dude, I would do it, and then we'd be canceled in like a day. Be like, hey, you can't say that again.
Yeah, that's
It's like,
so
all right,
funny. But I mean, hey, you
Jason's.
never know. Like if if you got a passion for something, just you never know what's gonna happen. You never know what doors are gonna open up for you.
Yeah. I pray. I
Yeah.
literally
Speak it
pray
into
every
existence.
day.
Yeah,
Speak it into
wake up.
existence.
I pray. And then, maybe one day we'll be on, Jeff's podcast and it'll
Yes.
be like, oh,
You
Jelly,
never know. Yeah.
I'll be chilling with Teapot.
Yeah.
We'll be doing breaks with Haley.
Yeah, for real.
Oh my gosh, that would be amazing.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, we can end it there. We talked a lot. We kind of just I love that we just won this. That's not a word.
Jesus Christ! And you want to be an MLB Network?
Love that we just won this episode.
Yeah.
No, I do again really appreciate you joining us. It's it's great to be able to just laugh and talk about
Absolutely.
the hobby and stuff. And I love that the friendship that we've been able to build, within this hobby and stuff. And yeah, I can't thank you enough for being able to join us again. And is there any last final thoughts you want to
The
give to us?
future of like the future of
Yeah,
Slab Mania. What's
yeah,
next?
what's next for Slab Mania?
It's, there's, I think about that often, and the honest answer is I don't know. It's because, I started,
Great answer.
yeah, I started kind of how we were talking about earlier in the pod. I started Slam Mania to get my foot in the door, and I got a pretty big foot in the door with Cards HQ. So it's kind of like, what's next after, you know what I mean? It's like, Cards HQ is such a big company and such a very well known in the industry that it's like, whoa, like you really got your foot in the door. So it's like, I really don't know what's next. I really, really have fallen in love with, working at Cards HQ and the position that I'm in there, and fallen in love with, just everything about it. And, I really want to get back into making my own content. I've just been so lazy. I kind of got in the mindset where it was like, well, you did what you needed to do with Slapmania. You used it to get your foot in the door. So now it's like, now what? But, I don't want to give up on that because, Slapmania is what has given me passion for everything. So, I think the next big thing for me is to get back into my own content. Honestly, that's probably what the next big thing is. But, my profession wise, I'm so content with it. I love it. And, I'm excited to keep growing with the company, and you never know where the future is going to lead.
Honestly, just
Awesome.
enjoy the moment.
Yeah.
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 Honestly, what you're doing right now is, like I said earlier, is what we all hope and dream happens. So just enjoy the moment. John, more final thoughts, man. Bring
I'll
us
try.
home, John.
Yeah, I'll
Bring
do
it
my
home.
best. Um, yeah, thank you, everybody. Thank you so much, Haley, from
Absolutely.
Slab Mania / Cards HQ for coming back on. It's huge honor, huge privilege, and like Jason said, it's just like talking shop with friends, and it's such a
Yeah.
nice feeling. It's such a nice thing to do after we have to deal with our like regular everyday jobs, and like you touched on, people join breaks to do that same exact thing. It's why Jelly Cards was formed. It's why I got into collecting, is because of that feeling. Every Saturday, I would go to the shop, and even if I didn't buy a card, I would still leave the shop feeling happy. I'd feel like relieved, like I don't know, elated, if that's a good word to use. And that's what the hobby is to me and to Jelly Cards and a bunch of people still in the hobby. So it's so nice to have you on and talk about that. Everybody who's listening, thank you. You can follow us on our socials. Follow Slab Mania on Instagram. I don't know if you're on X and YouTube for sure.
Instagram's pretty much my main form. I'm so lazy at posting on like TikTok and YouTube, but Instagram is pretty much where you can find me almost every day.
Perfect. Follow Slab Mania. Follow Cards HQ, especially on Whatnot. I've joined a bunch of Haley's breaks. Like she said, it's just basically having fun.
Yeah.
Even if you spend a little bit of money, even if you don't, they do giveaways like every 10 seconds, which are free. So you just click enter giveaway, and then like a few days later, a pack comes in the mail.
Yeah. There's been
It's the
times where I've
best.
done a little too many giveaways.
God.
Yeah.
There you go. Exactly.
Yeah.
So hop on to Whatnot, join the streams, say hi, say hey. Heard you on the Jelly Cards podcast. That'd be awesome. You can follow us on X/YouTube/ Instagram, Jelly Cards, JELICRDS. Please listen to the Jelly Cards podcast on both Apple and Spotify. If you enjoy the podcast, please leave us a rating. I would really appreciate it. Last year, I said my goal was like 50 ratings. We're stuck at like 14,
You're
maybe
actually going
15.
down.
Yeah.
We're losing ratings. No,
They're taken away. But yeah, this was a lot of fun. We talked about a lot. You can reach out to both of us. You can reach out to Jelly Cards. You can reach out to Slide Mania if you want to weigh in on the topics. We always welcome that. Do you think that the hobby has kind of become more investment driven? Do you think there still are a lot more collectors than there are flippers? You can weigh in on Fanatics Fest and what you think the state of the hobby is going to become. But we welcome all of that. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Haley. Thank you, Jason. And as always, keep spreading the love of this hobby from your friends, Slab Mania and Jelly Cards.